The job of a prosecutor is to search for evidence to support probable cause a crime was committed and who probably committed the crime. And if you get that evidence, you take it to a grand jury, you get an indictment. And if you don't get to that level of probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause this person committed it, then it comes to an end. No prosecutor is ever hired to exonerate anybody. And so for Mueller, of course, I've known the guy since when I first got here in 2005. And I gave him a softball questions, at least the first time that I questioned him. But then when I started finding out from FBI agents all the damage he was doing to the FBI, and then you start seeing the improprieties in which he was engaged as head of the FBI, I quit asking softball questions. This guy did more damage to the FBI than anybody, including J. Edgar Hoover in his later years. So, and he had no conscience at all about destroying the lives of people like Stephen Hatfield that he accused and just relentlessly pursued, destroyed his life, harassed neighbors, had everybody hating Hatfield as the guy that caused death of people with anthrax. He didn't. And even, it's reported, even President Bush called him in and said, doesn't seem to be any evidence against this Hatfield guy. Are you sure you got the right guy? 100%. When it turned out it wasn't him, Mueller said he had no apologies to make, that he didn't do anything wrong. He destroyed life. He destroyed Ted Stevens' life. The senior Republican senator, he was from Alaska, and the FBI they fabricated a case against this guy. Curt Weldon was accusing the FBI of sitting on information from a program called Able Danger, that if they had pursued it, they could have stopped 9/11. And I thought at the time when Curt Weldon was making those speeches condemning the FBI, well, gosh, Mueller's got to come back and respond. This is really serious. Well, he didn't respond publicly. He just had the FBI raid Curt Weldon's daughter's law office, and they of course leaked to the media when they were doing it early morning, and there were plenty of people out protesting that very morning his office. So that was 2 weeks before the election. He narrowly lost the election, and it became clear to me, oh, Mueller did respond. He destroyed another man's life. This is who he is. And even when it was clear that 4 guys had been sent to prison, they weren't good guys, but they were sent to prison from Boston for killing a man. Even after Mueller knew, everybody knew, these were not the guys that committed the murder, Mueller still writes to the parole board and demands they not let him out. This is not a guy that I would want anybody to emulate in law enforcement. He destroyed the FBI by running off thousands and thousands of years of experience. I mean, I know enough about the guy when I heard other Republicans saying, well, he's the gold standard when it comes to law enforcement. I'm going, these people don't know this guy. And everything he was doing in the early days totally supported my views of the guy. We've never had a special counsel that hired people that hated the subject of an investigation. And you had Strozk, you had Page. He didn't fire them when he found out about their hatred and bias against President Trump. He only fired them when it was clear information about their texts were going to come out, so he finally had to let them go. But he hired people that he knew hated the president. So from day one, it was clear this was not a guy that was on a mission for justice. It was a guy on a mission for revenge and vengefulness. And, that's obvious from the fact that, just a day before, he's begging the president to make him director of the FBI again, and Trump turns him down. And apparently they'd had some business problem. I'm not sure what that was, but he should never have taken the job as special counsel. He should have recused himself. He was disqualified on a number of levels. The Justice Department does not allow somebody to prosecute or pursue a case if their close friends are involved as witnesses, which is exactly what Comey was. And there's an article doing an expose on Mueller and Comey. Said basically they're joined at the hip. They're always going to be lifetime friends. And Comey was a central witness, and he jumps on and immediately takes the case as special prosecutor, where he knows his buddy Comey is involved. And we know from Comey himself that I believe he certainly violated the law when he leaked information so that, in his own words, that they could get a special counsel, and that special counsel was his close best friend forever, Mueller. I mean, there's just so many things about it that stunk to high heavens. So I was talking to Sean Hannity, or texting back and forth, and I said, I want to do an op-ed to let people know about Mueller. But normally they don't want an op-ed that's more than 800 words, and I'm at 2,000 words. And Sean texted, he said, you just go ahead and write whatever you need to write, and we'll put it up. We'll do an interview. Put it up on my website, and then people can just download it, and we'll get it published that way. And so as a result of that, not only did Sean have it on his website, I did interviews all over the country, and usually that radio station or that radio show would put it up on their website. I have no idea how many times the article's been downloaded and read, but I encounter people around the country that say, thank you for exposing Mueller for the guy he really is. So there was no good that was going to come from that. When I would be on Fox over that 2-year period, I kept explaining he's not going to close this up anytime soon. Yeah. And a year and a half ago, people were saying, well, it's probably going to be done by summer. It's probably going to, then later, well, it's going to be done by September 1. I'm going, you guys don't know Mueller. He is not going to shut this down early. He's going to at least take it through the election, November 2018, and he will continue to drag it out as far as he's allowed to keep dragging it out, even though there's nothing there. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did. He clearly affected the November 2018 election. He had an impact. That was his intent. This is not a guy that needs to be glorified. He's a guy that was involved as part of a coup to take down a sitting president. And thank God we had an attorney general come in who looked at the evidence and realized this needs to stop. I don't know if Barr said something to Mueller, but I think it's terrific that finally we had an end to what Mueller would have drug out on his own through 2020. I'm sure if he possibly could have.